1, 2, 3, 4.
What is happening? Welcome to the Mudblood podcast. This week, our episodes are brought to you in sponsorship with our main sponsor. He's the main man. He's that praise guy. For anybody that doesn't know that praise guy, he is the main competition page, and he has watches, holidays, cars, houses, big cash prizes. There's instant games, there's free games. Once you register up, it's all happening. Go and check him out. He's the made man. He's made 8 millionaires. He's going to make 9. You could be one of them. Get involved. And you know what? Just being part of this podcast, we have a wee discount code. Mudblood10 gets you 10% off all your purchases on the website. So go and check him out. That praise guy. 1, 2, 3. What is happening? Welcome to the Mudblood podcast. I am joined today by 2 local legends of the charity scene. It is Joe and Mickey from Tamhi. Say hello, lads.
Hello, lads.
What's happening?
No, it's great to be here, lads.
No,
It
it's
really
great
is.
to have you on. Willy's not here today, so I thought it'd be better to fucking have you on instead of Willy today.
Exactly.
The wee disabled person with the wee claw.
the
So Ed's here. If you
The
see
big
his
man
hand,
with
he fills in for him.
That's it.
So
Is that the disability?
aye.
You get a DLA card, Fred?
Well, top rate.
Steers past my one.
You know, it's alright, guys. I'm fully working.
Stop it.
He can play. That's my Bluetooth. Look.
At least, oh Jesus, I know his claw. See, whenever we go to meetings and all, he would talk, and he would talk a lot with his hands, and he sees all this, and you see people's face going.
What's that?
I'm not following the fingers because one's going that way and up and around the corner, and all he's going, and the levels of suicide and England, people are going, just give him.
You're like your mom with the mashed potato.
Take my strong hand. He gets talking about that. And then when he says he's a goalkeeper, you're just going, Jesus.
Is that hard happen?
That's hard happening. That is genuinely hard.
Goalkeeping?
Dislocated it in training, and then it was COVID, and then the doctor told me it was trigger finger, and then we went to get it X-rayed. It was
Too
broke.
late.
And they fixed it, but that was its natural position now. So
He got a full on operation, ripped tendons, everything, and all to get it put back the car.
It
And
went
I was
back.
looking dead on, big massive scar and all. A couple of months later, just kicked back in. Like, all that for nothing. Like,
It's like, fuck you, Joe.
Fuck you, Joe. We're going back the way we were.
so the options are pin or get it cut off. So I prefer just to keep it deformed. So I'll be close, Thumpy.
That's the way to go.
You stick it up your finger up your nose like that. When the kids look at you off the bus with his fingers up his nose.
There's a wee fella, me and him both know, Kieran McSkimmons, and he does that. He lost his whole finger, and that's his party piece. He's like, that there. Looks like it's way up there. Absolutely brilliant.
I didn't lost mine. Mine's just taken away. So it was.
What happened?
It was a bit off. Well,
Uh-huh. They spit it out.
he did, but we didn't know at the time. I thought he swallowed it, the bastard. He brought me to court. Says he got
You
food
must have
poisoning.
tasted nice.
He got food poisoning. He got food poisoning. But yes, no, for anyone that doesn't know, the lads run the charity Tamhi. Just want to give a wee brief thing about what Tamhi is and how you set it up and how it came about, and because I think that's important for people to know.
Of course. So, 2011, there was a spate of suicides in North Belfast, and this fine young gentleman here, my friend Joe, decided to do something about it. Started off small, and it started off with genuinely a game of football. So he organised a game of football with a load of local people, and without that, he was giving out information about local mental health charities and different things. And after that, a lot of groups started coming to him and just saying, look, we need this, we need that, we need more information because more people are coming out and talking about it. And it just sort of snowballed. And as Joe was doing it really by himself within his our full-time job. And then after that there, it started getting too big. And me and Joe were already football coaching the car. And he said, Mickey, I need you, mate. I need you to thing. So I was doing a job warehousing and stuff as well. And I was like, look, I'll come in part-time and help you out and see what way we go. But after, I know, about another year, it was like, we need to have a fair crack at this. Like,
Yeah.
it's too, because suicide, as you know, within the Belfast, we're one of the worst in the UK, if not Europe, per capita. So it was just like, you need to do something. And with the passion we had for sport and stuff like that, they were like, what way could we tackle it through sport? And that's exactly what we end up doing. We come up with an absolute ingenious idea of mental health games, and the mental health games works for everyone, mate. I think I'm riddled with ADHD, undiagnosed, but my wife keeps
You
telling
would
me.
never have known. Like.
You wouldn't. But so, and then it was like hardest best way I learned. So we started coming up with mental health games, and oh man, it's brilliant. It really is. We definitely have to do it with all the lads that played in the match and stuff. Would be
100%. I mean, it's one of them things we talk about it in the house. I've had like more than a handful of friends that's committed suicide, and it's when you say that you be in a room with 10 people, 9 other people's going to come back to you with same here.
I just want to go back on 2 things there, Paddy. One, the name Tamhi.
Yep.
Our motivation is the original loss of my friend Tamhi Tucker McLachlan. He died in 2009 by suicide. And then I think back then, everybody found their chapter suicide. It was for golfs, people that listened to Marilyn Manson. It wasn't something that you would have seen in sort of North Belfast, West Belfast. But then it hit really hard that it was very prevalent. It was prominent in our communities, and so that was the motivation of loss. In the same year, we lost another wee lad, wee Titch, but he wasn't suicide, he was an accidental, choking his own vomit, drugs. And from that there you sort of see all the issues in society. Now you said something there about commit. It's one thing we always have to correct people on. It's use of language. The word commit historically meant that suicide was a crime.
It used to be a crime. It's no
So
longer.
it's no longer a crime. So the word, the most appropriate use of language is always died by suicide or ended their life, because they haven't committed a crime. They've just been in so much turmoil and trouble at that point in time that they said that life's not worth living. So we always correct people that say
Oh, here, 100%.
commit, because it isn't a crime. It used to be a sin too, if you recall.
Yeah.
And sort of that got sort of rectified because there was so many people down at the Catholic Church couldn't stand by that they wouldn't like bury you and stuff. It was like so much sort of.
But even as you
nonsense.
said, you're in a room. You're in a room. We're in a small room now, and I would dare say every single person in this room has been affected by suicide at one stage of their life where they've known someone. Both me and Joe's best friend took his own life, and then his stepfather, which was mind blowing. I actually rang him whenever it had just happened. I was like, Joe, I can't even talk to you. We were up in the Abbey Centre, me and the wife, and genuinely I was going, Joe, I can't hear you. There's a helicopter. It's right over the Cave Hill. And he said, yes, mate, I know. It's for... And I was just... You're up looking for him and thinking, but I was like, Joe, I'm not going to make it. They've blocked off a whole Antrim Road and this here. And he was like, mate, I'm not going to make it either. And you could hear it loud down the phone with him. But I was just like, mate, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And then that's exactly what came off it, which was mental. It really is. See the fact that the heart he then felt over them two. And then sadly in 2018, my Uncle Joseph genuinely always had, like any man, like a drink and all that there. But he had a lot going for him in his life. And then he decided just he didn't want to do it anymore and took his own life. And it's just, see, for me, I was going, I don't want anyone to ever feel that way.
Yeah.
So it burns a fire. And whenever you go into our office, we have a painting of my Uncle Joseph. 40 years of age he was, on the left-hand side. And whenever I walk in, I look at it and go, let's fucking go. That's my motivation. As soon as Josie goes to his desk, a big framed goalkeeping top of his best friend sitting right behind him, and he goes, let's do this. You just don't want anyone to feel the way sort of, you know, it gets everyone, because suicide doesn't just go end your problems. I always go, basically, you'll not feel that, but you'll not feel the aftermath, because what you'll do is you're just basically throwing a hand grenade into anyone that ever knew you.
Yeah.
Even if you ever knew someone slightly,
Yeah.
it affects you,
Oh,
because you're not
100%.
me, I would have been there for that person, I would have.
One of the worst ones for me, and I didn't know the person, was I was going to a wedding in the Galgorm,
Okay.
and I was heading up, and they jumped off the bridge at the Bellevue
Jesus.
And it was, I couldn't believe it. I like seeing it.
Aye.
Do you know, it was just, I was like, what did I just witness?
Horrifying.
Do you know, like, but there must be something that, like, to do that. Do you know what I mean? You don't like hurting yourself. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
stand a bit of Lego, you stand a kid's toy, and you're like, do you know, like, you try not to hurt yourself, but you must get to that stage, and it's one of them things. It's people don't understand. Like, they must feel like that's it.
That sense of hopelessness, mate, must be genuinely awful.
Do you know-
where they don't feel any way out but that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, and I mean, we would deal with it on a hopefully, touch wood, not a daily basis, but weekly. We would talk to many people that sort of feel that way. But if they talk to you, P, it's just genuinely, they don't want to go that their bridge route. They want to sort of be talked out that it's going to be all right in the long run. And that's exactly what we find we're very successful to do, because we can then navigate them on the different agencies that offer sort of counselling one-to-one. Some people it doesn't work for. So we have released a new tax teammate, which is Joel Fouch. It's been absolutely amazing since it's started. It's saved many lives, because we get like the analytics each month of how many people texted and how many done this here.
It's because of current patterns we're all on our phones. People, like young people, for example, don't feel comfortable bringing a Chinese because it's all done through sort of Just Eat and stuff.
Yep.
So we did a bit of research. We wanted to says tax instead of a phone service because that's what the pattern was telling us. Then I went down to Hanover and said, I'm going to release a service called Tax Tamhi. One of the coaches says, that sounds shit. Hurt my feelings. So I says, what would you call it then? I says, what about teammate? They meet dead on, I'm taking that. That be days, and then Tax Teammate was born. Because I could be sitting here now, depressed at the Bally's, talking about reasons, taxing my teammate. And if you ask, you all right? I'm just taxing my teammate.
Yeah.
And it's basically that mentality that removes the fear and stigma, where if I want to phone like Lifeline or somewhere,
You're actually saying a thing.
I have to try and
that's
find somewhere to go to have that private conversation, which in itself we were told could be off-putting, because working up the confidence to go and like
Speak to
someone
yeah.
where you can just go, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And then next thing, trained sort of professional comes back to you and talks you through. And should it be a crisis, they send like an SOS to go, Belfast Police Board, this number, here's the ping.
Yeah.
Go and basically get them.
And it's
Yeah.
24/7 as well, mate. So, you know,
Is
yourself.
that a government funded thing?
No.
No, we've got that funded
We've
ourselves.
fully funded.
A grant as a pilot.
This is the thing that people don't understand, and I say to people all the time, all you guys and all the different organisations that are set up for this, they're all set up from people who've been affected by it or had
100%.
family and friends, and see, without it would have nothing.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
You would have contact your doctor, but you've more chance of winning the fucking
But this
disease
is
scale than
this
you
is
do
the
getting
thing
a
with the
doctor's
doctor.
appointment.
I mean, see, if you go to a doctor's appointment, we were talking about this yesterday. If you go to a doctor's appointment, right, and you go to speak about something else that's wrong with you, they'll tell you you need a separate appointment for it.
or they'll
doing
give you
one thing.
tablets.
Right.
Or they'll give you tablets.
and you've got your slot time, right? And so what I says is, there could be people out there who don't want to ring up. What's wrong with you? Because that's what the receptionist says, who's not a trained person. What's wrong with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I would turn around and say, I've got a pain in my dick. do you know, just to make them feel a wee bit awkward. I know if I think they're
This
cheeky.
isn't a sex lane, Paddy.
But you know what I
Send
mean?
you an umbrella in the
But you
room.
know what I mean? And then she goes, what? And I go, I've a pain in my dick. And she go, right, I'll just leave it with the doctor. And you go in and the doctor's like, what's it? You have a pain in your penis? No, I don't. But she was a cheeky cunt on the phone.
Right.
So I just said that because I don't want her to ask me any further questions. I actually need you to stick your finger up my bum. But that's not, I didn't want to tell her that. Do you know what I mean? But some people would ring up at doctors and say, you know, something else. They won't want to say,
What's actually wrong?
because the
They're
girl
embarrassed.
might know them, or, you know, I don't want people to
Everyone
know.
knows everyone, and you know
So
yourself.
you're
Paddy,
I don't want to ring up and go, listen, I'm feeling suicidal here, or my mental health. And there's always been a stigma about it.
100%.
So it's one of them things. I get into comedy through mental health, which is the fucking madness about it. I was brought to a comedy night to get me cheered up. I was brought to try and pull me out of the darkness of it. Do you know what I mean? And then it led on to me doing the job. So I'm vocal about it, and I tell people, fuck. And it didn't just stop as soon as I done comedy. I was still working and trying to do that as a career, and I was in England. And I remember being in England and came home for the weekend. And I hadn't even enough. And I'm going, why the fuck am I working over? I've come home for my birthday and I don't even have the money to go out. Do you know what I was going, what am I doing? And all the ones I was with were all doing coke over and they were all melting my head. And I went back and next minute I turned up to the house on the Monday night and she was like, what's wrong with me? And I says, I actually don't know. And I fucking broke down. Like fucking paranoid and fucking just, you don't even see it creeping up on you. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, it is like a darkness coming behind you and then all of a sudden whack. And you don't, it's a lot of people don't know why they're sad, why they're unhappy, why they can't get happy. And that's depressing, mate. And I mean, it's scary. Like, it really is.
One of the things I found, and you've just identified it, and what you're saying there is people lose the sense of purpose. You've just said you're in a very dark place, you were taking the comedy and snap yourself out of it. The next thing you found it became your purpose. It became your go-to. It's became your thing to focus on. And I've talked to a lot of people who have been at sort of rock bottom and they're sort of wit's end and they lack purpose, they lack direction, they feel that there is no support. But when they find something to look forward to every single week, be it like he talks about small wins, when they find something that I'm Friday I'm going to do my comedy gig, or on Friday I'm going to watch comedy, and for me, monthly I'm going to play golf now. I miss my golf society unless it's like my anniversary, which is the first time I have to miss it in 2 years actually.
Sorry to hear that.
Or else he's dead,
or else I'll be breaking down somewhere. What I'm getting at is it's that sense of purpose, and I think what we do is when we speak to people and we try and give them a bit of sense of direction, it's getting them something to look forward to. And it could be, like I said, a small win of we're looking forward to Friday because we're doing something. It's something so small, something so trivial, but it's something to basically hang their hat on to go, I'm going to focus on that.
Yeah.
Now you alluded to it. It's the likes of local people. That see so many local people we have met through different organisations. You like your Sinead Mulvana, Joe Murphy, Gary Simonton, Mags Walker down the hike. Just genuinely superstar people that just have a passion for helping people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we have.
Give
It's just
people purpose.
to give people purpose, that their sense of hopelessness, they're able to go here, right, get me out off you, and I'm going to try and make you feel better. That's exactly what it is. Every single one has been affected by suicide, or affected by their own mental health or something like that. So, yeah, you know yourself. You don't want someone else to feel that way, so you try and take it back. But I mean, there's loads of different, there's brilliant people out there. Really is, and that's all. I mean, even you coming, Paddy, you give up your time, came to an event we done, you probably had a full spiel planned out. Then we got wee Stuart to talk about his problems, and you got up and just started talking about your own, and it was amazing to hear. No, I mean, how you get in the comedy thing and all, you were still funny as fuck, but the Wes Brown kept nudging me and going, what was he saying now? What was he saying? And then whenever I was relaying it back, he was laughing. I was going, I'm funny as fuck.
The only person that ever actually understands any of the jokes is Keith Gillespie.
Keith loves it.
None of the rest of them understand a word
Loves
that
it.
comes out of anybody's
Yeah.
mouth.
Loves it.
There's not.
Even on Saturday night, I thought
Genuinely.
one of the best. See, all 5 comedians were unreal. Stole the show, but then Tamhi got back up
To do
to
the
do
auction.
the auction, and he was lifting, like, you're sitting trying to earn money for a charity, and he's lifting going, it's fucking shit. Fucking shit.
He's mustard. He
was
doesn't
brilliant.
realise what he's saying.
Oh, it
He
was
definitely
brilliant.
doesn't
And he
realise.
was apologising, going, look, lads, I'm harped up. I've had too many harping up. Wow, what a man. Brilliant.
But it is, look, it's one of them things, and I get messages all the time from people. The podcast is one of them, because we'll talk about different things and whatever, and they go, do you know what? There was a guy came up one time in the PD. I was with my wee lad and somebody else, and he's like, I want to buy you a pint. I don't drink. And he's like, I want to buy you a pint. I said, look, I don't drink. And he says, you don't understand. And I was like, right. So that knowing you know somebody's
100%.
Hear me, right, let's go. Hear me, mum. I went to the toilet and he says, I was in Mucklemore. He says, and this doctor fucking says to me, listen to this podcast. And he put the podcast on and he went, I know that voice. And then he looked up the podcast and he was like, you were 2 years above me in school. He says, it saved my life.
Brilliant.
He says, and I fucking got purpose of that. And
You don't know you're
you
doing
don't
it.
even know you're doing it,
That's
you know.
unreal.
So, and if a wee thing like that can help somebody, you know, never mind
That's
other
it.
things that's out there. And I just say to people when they send me messages, I'm going through a rough time, and the comedy's a great thing. The comedy's a great thing for it because you can lose yourself for an hour event or whatever, and you go and you enjoy it and you have a laugh. And laughing's the I said it that night in the
100%.
fucking Cumberland Road jail. It's and you can say jokes and when I do stuff about things, like when I do stuff about my mate dying of cancer, and tell that joke, and people's going, fuck, we shouldn't joke about cancer. And you go, hold on, listen till the end of it.
Yep.
You know, and you talk about it, and you go, this is what it's about. If it hits one person and it helps them in one way, you're doing a job. Do you know what I mean?
Paddy, see that night you done that joke, genuinely, we had 4 people in the room that 1, their wife died of cancer, and 3, their family members were dying of cancer. And when I looked about the room, they were the 4 that were laughing the most because they understood it.
Yeah.
And they understood the meaning behind it. It was hilarious. But some people were laughing, go, oh.
Oh, when you start going into it, 100%.
But it's not them understanding
Yeah.
the whole point of it and the whole thing where you saying what you said to their family and hanging on, probably made them sort of calm down a bit and go, fuck me, if you don't laugh about something, if he was still here, he would have been laughing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know
That's it.
on top of it, it's also the sort of navigate around that, you know, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, no.
Do you know, and if you do have somebody that's experienced cancer or whatever and they are dying, the tragic thing is they get sad and then have that sad time for the last
Yeah.
period of time you're going to have with somebody. You know, that's not what you want to do. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's like when you were in Tallackies and it was coming to an end at the end of the night, you went, this is the last 10 minutes, I'm not going to fuck up out here. I'm going to chase her or I'm
Draw
going
a
to
few
fuck.
shapes.
Exactly. You know, enjoy yourself because it's over in 10 minutes, lads, and then you're going to be sitting in a wee party and fucking hour down somewhere and it's not going to be as good. Do you know what I mean? But no, I think it's just getting that message across. But I admire every one of you for what you do because you basically, you just said it. You've said it there. You said about missing your wedding anniversary if you go and do the golf once a month. But I know you're giving that golf up because the rest of your time spent doing the stuff with this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you feel like you need to, which is
It's
the
a
thing you have
release.
to do.
It is a release.
You said it too. Your missus will crack up if you say you're going to do another event because it's full time.
Oh, no, here.
Trying to run an event, I know, even just a one-off comedy night, I know what it's like
It's-
trying to run that.
Aye.
That the other day was a massive operation,
It
and
was
people
mental.
have no. There's so many components and parts.
It's wee small things. It wasn't even the players and all coming over and you're kind of going there, Berbatov, gigs, Petrov, Panet. It's not even that there. See, for me, it was going, see the amount of different people that did support it was mad. I mean, even down to the whole sponsors and stuff like that. And for me, I'm more worried about them than whether Berbatov likes steak or chicken. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It was the small Jimmy's.
I just handed them a pen, said saying that,
Yeah.
saying that, because afterwards when they go back to their wee fancy houses, we need to go back to the sponsors and say
Yeah.
thank you very much for believing in us, supporting us. Here's a wee sign frame picture by all those celebrities, and we do appreciate their support because it's their funding.
Yes.
It helps us do our programs.
100%.
It's not necessarily the
You're going and saying this is the event we're doing.
It was.
Get their wee thing. And the main thing for me, like I turned up, I wore all the Tommy gear that I
course you
had,
did.
and I was
you actually
like,
got one of the elite golf.
Yeah,
D-
like,
D-
you're one of
Bryson
you're the
D-
only person
DeChambeau
outside
t-shirts.
of hanging. I remember I said I'm getting Paddy one of them, and what got them? It actually
class.
come off the last United game, and some guy come in, Stephen Budd, big shout out, great man, come in last minute, and we were all a community team and all were fundraising for ages. They lived their dream, playing with Yap, Stan, Wes Brown, all this here, and he came in last minute and goes, Mickey, you don't understand. I'm the biggest United fan. I'll do anything. And I said, I heard you own a clothing brand. He goes, aye. He says, see if you give a windbreaker to all the lads. He says, even better, I'll give a windbreaker and then for your youths, I'll do half sips. And I went, right. And whenever I get one of the half sips, I just went, I'm giving that to Paddy. I knew straight away. And I had to give you it personally because obviously Willie, you know the story here. Willie, if you're watching, I give him and Willie 2 lovely hoodies. Got a photo and all standing out. Pizza Works.
never got it.
Never got it. We Willie's
No,
brilliant.
I never
really
got it.
lost it.
And know what he does then? He goes, brain damage.
He blames himself. That's right. He blames his finger for half.
It's my finger.
But no,
that's a Willie
when,
says,
we're,
but
when
no.
we're talking about even sponsors, I mean, that's the main
That
man.
price guy.
Paul was first class from start to finish. He backed us. He believed in us, and then I don't think even Shane was heavily involved in the last one and this one, in organising as well. With ourselves, there was the 3 of us constantly meeting throughout the time. But Shane kind of knew how big it was. I think Paul, when he walked in, seen them all, was like, wow. Like, I mean, he's all like chomping at the bit for another one. So,
Yeah. But if anybody wasn't there, there's still time to donate. There's still things going on there on the website.
yeah.
There's competition. There's a raffle for a top.
A raffle for a
Signed
match worn top. So we don't know. We're going to collect them today. They're all signed. So basically, at the end of the match, the Legends 11 staff will get all the tops off of players, sweat, blood, tears, and all that there. And obviously, Barbatos tears when we're trying to chase you when you call them over and all. Absolute
It's
first
vegan
class.
tears.
It's vegan tears, no sugar in them. And they lay it out in a desk, and they have to come in and sign them all. And then obviously they donate them to us, and then we do what we need to. But it's not all about raising money. It's genuinely raising awareness.
Raising awareness.
See, bringing them and
So that was the important part to me, was to wear that top in, because I knew as soon as I walk in that ground, I'm getting photos took of me. And I'm a big advertisement. I'm like a walking billboard. Billboard walking underneath the bridge. People would have seen it.
See, here.
A lot of people going, who's that handsome man on that billboard? And you go up onto the slipper.
Who do I look like bastard?
No, here you look brilliant. You look here, don't you? So
In real life, you don't look like it.
No, see, Jan. So we would go to hang, and then everyone would go, Mickey, where's your partner in crime? And I'm like, he's somewhere else, and said, I see him 20 times a day. I see him more than my wife and all, and I'm going, here, but it looks well, doesn't it? See that billboard? You're really meant to be on for 1 month.
1 month.
But it's like £1,000 odds for 1 month. So Ulster University paid for it, and then no one else
Paid for the
hike. So he was up for about 9 months. And it was constant. Anyone going the banger over the Odyssey, just seen his big
city
bum.
airport.
Brilliant.
I was on 2 billboards in West Belfast, and they were both off within a couple of days.
Cheaper advertising, is it?
No, it was fucking rain, heavy rain. The weight of
He was down with umbrellas.
the weight of me on the billboard, it just fell off. But I got 2 billboards, one the White Track and one the Springfield, and I used to work in the building facing it, and all the staff in there were in fucking stitches because the boss went in and opened his curtains, and I was fucking that serious.
You were
Just
angry like a
looking at his fucking window. He did. So I think he might have fucking got it pulled off.
He put someone up. I'll pay to get that fucker taken down. I've seen enough for him when he worked for me.
100%. But no, it's fucking absolutely brilliant, and it's awareness. That's all you're trying to get out there. That we're here.
Yep.
And there's stuff in place. And literally only last week, I said to you, Joe, briefly on Saturday, a guy I know, and I'm going to say what he does or anything because it might give it away, but we were just talking last week about it, and he says to me, without Joe, he says, I don't know what I would have done. And he told me the story about his son. And he says, I didn't know what to do, Paddy. And the child came to me, and he teenage son, telling him that he was fucking harming himself, and he didn't know what to do, and he says he spoke to you and you guided him, and he says without you, he says I would not know how to deal with it, you know, and that's to me is the main thing. And I was going, look, the gods are fucking amazing, and he went, but it's beyond amazing to me. You've no idea. My son was doing this, and I didn't know how to deal with it.
It's no, and people genuinely constantly ask me and Joe, like, how do you deal with it? How do you stay? It's near enough second nature now. So it's not a big thing. It's genuinely, as you can tell, it's current compassion. Empathetic and say, look here, no matter what. I mean, we run a program not that long ago with a local shelter, and these fellas come in and they'd obviously drink, drug issues and stuff like that. And the first thing I thought was, I said, look, lads, what's got you here? What's your issues? And they just wanted to be seen as humans and that thing. We had them for about 20 weeks, and
I loved it.
Outstanding. Loved it. And it wasn't even, it was based around mental health, based around just demons getting out and doing something rather than wanting to drink and wanting to hang, you know.
Purpose.
Purpose.
A lot of them
Purpose for their
stayed
life.
off the drink and the drugs on the Sunday because they knew they were coming to us on the Monday, and they called me to come and be part of the program. You had the odd fight about a bit of weed, like, but that was about the only disagreement you have. But or that,
There was some of them genuinely
brilliant.
couldn't even see their eyeballs, like, or but they were happy, man. So
No, I know, but you're right. And I mean, it's people don't realise that I went to speak to a load of kids in Carrickhill, friend of mine runs a program in there, and they were all like from 16 to maybe 20 or whatever. And she was like, come in and speak to him. And I went in, and that's what I was sort of saying. I says, don't be looking at me and thinking that I'm anything different from you. I'm not. I'm the same as you. I was at your age, didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing, running about like a fucking lunatic. Do you know? And I think it's a thing within our areas that sometimes you think you're not worth anything. Sometimes you think, oh, well, no, I'll just do this and I'll just do that. And there's a lot more out there.
It's a hopelessness. See, even the area I grew up in the bone, mate. And
The marrowbone?
the
bally bone?
The bone, not the bally bone, the proper one. In
It's
case anyone
close.
McGill's
It's
watching.
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the actual hopeless place.
New
Lodge.
Lodge. Where Rihanna's
Where
side.
Rihanna's
Yeah. Yes. But
You know when she came, she got brought to Shangle.
What happens?
here, I'll tell you something here.
But they
No,
brought
yeah.
her to the Shangle and she got out and she went, this is meant to be hopeless. This looks like a festival. And they went, hopeless? We thought you said hopeless.
But know who I actually brought down that day to meet Rihanna? Your best mate,
Who?
Burnsy.
Connor?
Oh, mate. Burnsy, I brought Burnsy down and he was sitting at the back shouting at her, Rihanna, do you come to see me? You come to see me?
Put on your black skirt and your high heels.
Your high heels, strawberry and cream, whipped cream, you've shouting everything. Unless me, oh, geez, we were going to get lifted.
At what stage did you stop dealing with Burnsy?
Look, truthfully, I was years and years ago, whenever sort of Dennis Morrison was running all the charity events, we were taking him to football matches and all thing and all. It was always a bit of banter and all this here. But I didn't like the way people took a piss out of him and thing. But we'd talk him about and all this here. And then Dennis wanted to do the boxing with Paddy Barnes. Fuck, the lead up to him were brilliant crack. Because, as you know, Connor takes everything 100 miles an hour. So he was shouting everything at Paddy and all this here. And then they had a couple of wee fights, but see the one Paddy stopped him. Hit him a couple of wee taps in the belly and Connor threw up. You were like, right.
Need to stop this?
No, it wasn't even, when I stopped where Connor was whenever he near got me arrested. We were driving down past Corporation Street and I was hitting about 33 miles an hour and cop jumped out with a gun, speed gun, not a proper one, Paddy, and pulled me in. So I pulled in. I said, do you know what speed you were going there, sir? And I said, must have been about 30. He goes, 33 you were doing, 33. And I went, is this not a 40? And all of a sudden, yo, had Burnsy in the front. The cop looked down, Burnsy went, whoa, you to leave him alone. He's not well in the head, he shouldn't be driving. So all of a sudden the cop bounced out and goes, sir, can you get out of your car? So I got out of your car. Mate, before you go on here,
That's Connor.
have a look inside. And he looked in. I went, look. And he went, ready, understand. They said, look, you have to do a speed awareness course. And I went, cheers, mate. I was genuinely going, and then I was like, right, I'm going to take you up the house.
That was it.
I was like, oh, you're going to get
You're
me.
like 10% discretion in it.
Nah, 33, I ended up doing it. And I was whenever you had to do it on purpose, on person.
Yeah.
It was over in the King's Hall, mate, and it was the worst day of my life. Some fella was there and he was querying everything. Nobody the rest of the class just wanted to get out. I think there was a cup final or something that day. Celtic were playing it, and I was like, get me out of here. Just get me out of here. I don't want... And your mum was going, I think it should be 45 in them roads. I'm like, mate, I'm going to throw this table at you. Just let me get out of here. You know, everyone's there just to get it done.
Oh, I know. I've done that speed awareness. They were talking about, you know, the bikes. So the guy was like, and you have all these deaths on the road, and you've probably seen them all about. There's a white bike, and these are ghost bikes, and there were people died. And I went, and there was a time, do you remember at Giro d'Italia came over here, and they put all the pink bikes everywhere?
Yeah.
And I says, I've seen a load of pink ones. Is that when they just got hurt? Fucking everybody in the class was going, fucking your mum was like, he was from the AA. Here he was. You're not a very funny individual. Hear me well.
Yeah, well,
we can fucking beg to differ here. You know?
Say my white Porsche says different, mate.
Connor's fucking wild. I get warned about him. See what happened? Connor fucking came into my work, and then I was fucking yarning about him, and then the next day he turned up to the work again, and then the next day he was there, and he goes from person to person.
Aye, and different areas.
And everybody, like Big Floon said to me, everybody said to me, be very careful. I brought him out at the Waterfront Hall, right?
sold out Waterfront Hall, and I went, welcome to the stage, Connor Burns, and he came out. And I was, oh, right. And here's me, that's him, he's going to be in love with me for life. He walked out, my manager was standing there, and he went, you need to sign me up. And my manager went, why is that? And he went, none of Emmons would have been here, only I was on the poster.
And he does believe
And he was on the poster.
He believes
He believed it in his own head.
In his own head.
And then we done the podcast, and then he was like, I want to do my own one. So we set it all up, and the Connor Burns show, put a wee chalkboard and all. And Sean's my brother, but Sean's ginger, tall, doesn't look like me. And Connor rang me. He says, I was on the phone though. And he made Connor, listen, see to do that, it's like 150 quid every time we record. I says, nah, I've done that one with you. Here's me. And you didn't talk. You done fuck all. So it's not worth doing.
Aye.
You have to just come on as a guest. No, I ain't doing my own. Hear me, have you got 150 quid? No. Hear me, well, then how are you going to do it? Fuck you, right? And he phoned our Sean. Then he phoned me back. He says, see that ginger bastard? I mean, that's my brother. He's no brother of yours. I'm your fucking brother. And then he went off once. He then fucking I hit. And then I done Jared Healy's corner. That was fucking it. Fucking hated
I
him.
hated you for the rest of your life.
That was it.
He told someone I threw my girlfriend under a bus, and then it reversed, and I pulled her back under again. I wasn't even going wrong. No. I was like, what's going on here?
I
Like,
think you're a pancake face now, are you too?
Paddy.
Are you part of the
And
pancake
that
faces?
he was all these like, get him off the social. And what happened was big mate Frankie died, and we were all at the funeral, and he was sitting in the other side of O'D's, and I went, well, come on over. And he came over and he says, I'm sorry, and he gave me a big hug. And I was like, oh, maybe that's it sorted. You know?
yeah, and, look, he's a nice fella, and things. See when you get talking to him, he's a nice fella. He's just
I lap him up.
He gets tortured everywhere.
I
he goes
lap
as
him
well.
up. I really genuinely lap him up. So he came over and he's all right. Now, me, is that us dead on? Oh, yeah, that's us dead on. Next day I get sent a video. Paddy McDonald's a cunt. As soon as I left the fucking bar, brought him over and they were all stitches. As soon as he walked in the door,
Probably bought him out
he's a
10
cunt.
pence.
He's a cunt.
Oh no! But as I see, the likes of fans the way we're done. It's genuinely to raise awareness, and sometimes you need to bring them type of names out to get the awareness out, because see the way me and Joe have done it over years, a lot of people don't care, or as you know, the stigmatized. You stay away from the word suicide until it lands on your door.
Yeah.
And that's even Joe would deal with how 200 sports clubs, and
more.
he would be inundated constantly. Where there's a couple that really sort of dive into it and are amazing with all that there, and really drive the mental health message home.
There's a lot of fear within sport clubs, but the big issue is if you have a player with mental health issues and they're struggling, they have mental health issues and they're struggling, whether you know how to deal with it or not.
Yeah.
But the vast majority, it's a sad thing to say, is would be reactive. So something happens, then they'll want to do something, but they could be proactive and prevent it. So we try and get that message across to people, but it's not easy because you're dealing with volunteers. And
100%.
they don't want to they just want to go in, do their football and go home, or do their Gaelic and go home, do their sport. They don't want to basically realise that person coming in, or even themselves, can have a raft of shit going on in the background that they bring into the club. The club should be a safe space. It should be a space of the network of groups that they can access. And when clubs realise that, look, I can do something, and it's talk, listen, care, connect, and that's the most important part. It's not like talk, listen, care, and take all our problems home with you. It's just, fuck yeah, it's bad. What's going on in your life? And we, through our network of club, can get you access to this, and this. Mm-hmm. Once they do that, it removes guilt. Now, here's the thing. I've helped clubs before where sadly they've lost people. But when you go and you have a conversation with them, the conversation is, we did everything we could. Where you go have a conversation with a club where I seen and noticed something, I should have done this, or should have, would have, could have, doesn't save lives. No. They've realised they've spotted something, but they've stuck their head in the sand. The player's been lost. And then what eats them up is the guilt.
Guilt after.
It comes after it. And the guilt's the thing that basically destroys them. Mm-hmm. Where the ones that have did everything that they could, they feel sad, they feel apathetic, they feel emotionally drained. But the one thing is the turn around and says, I physically couldn't do any more within the realms of my possibility, within what I can, my network. And that's the thing, when you get clubs that have done that, you do see they make a difference. Thankfully, there is clubs that have took on some training, took on some ideas, and they've helped people, and people are standing here today because of their club. And we always say why our clubs, our main audience, the vast majority of mental health is done in school, right? And you talk to young people, and it's like, for fuck's sake, someone comes in and talks to us, and we're just sitting playing with our phones. It feels forced and contrived. It's almost like a ticker box.
Yes.
You're in a club of your own free will. what are you more likely going to take a message? Somewhere you're there of your own free will, or somewhere you have to be. You have to be in school legally. You don't have to be in a club. And the other one is if the message is coming from someone you look up to, respect, and trust.
Coaches,
and
everyone
leaders,
remembers a brilliant coach in their life.
your role model,
One,
then you're more likely to embrace it.
Yeah.
Like I says, I grew up with my coach was strict, but the one thing is he gave discipline and control. So I mean, if you went to the match half pissed on a Saturday morning, he chewed the balls of you and says that's unacceptable behaviour. Someone had to tell you it, and if you behave like this, you want to take away your football, which you basically want to do. And all of a sudden you go, well, I'm not going to go to the match anymore, pissed. I'm going to look after myself on the Friday night, which was one less night of basically recklessness when you were young and you had your football.
Yeah.
And then that 9
you
times
still
out of
went
10.
out the next week. You just had a pint of water before you went to bed.
I was always blessed. I got on by default. There's no our keepers, no mean. But that's just the nature of the clubs. They're fucking amazing vehicles. I mean, they realise the impact that they have beyond the field.
Yeah.
Then they do so much. And that the good clubs are the ones that basically look, do you know what? Yes, we do football. Yes, we do Gaelic. Yes, we do boxing. But we also keep people safe, give people social connections, give people something to look forward to. And we talked about it all. We give people purpose. I mean, you create that sort of sense of camaraderie and community within a club, then they do shape change and save lives, and we stand by it.
Yeah, and even on top of that, like they don't even realise the impact it could have on the team. You know, and I had this out with a Gaelic club in the past, and I was like, I went to them and I was like, you have an opportunity here to set something in place within the club, because you see a lot of that happening at an early age where there's a kid sitting there and he's not saying anything and nobody puts him on, and I'm going to him, you need to look further afield. I says, you need to take that kid, you need to embrace him, you need to give him minutes on the park. He mayn't be that good, but you don't know if he turns 15, 16, he'll be the best player in the team.
And you've made
some
an
people
impact
don't
on
know,
him.
and you've made an impact
That's
on
his
him.
point.
You know, and I say, so even if there was one person trained within an organisation, because some of the Gaelic clubs are massive and they've loads of teams, and I went, if somebody gets trained in this, so they can tell each coach what way to deal with it, what to do with it, and try and get it at that stage. Do you know what I mean? Because they'll bring in what do we need for football? We need a pump for the ball. We need this. We need water bottles. We need a kit. Nobody thinks we need somebody that's trained in mental health to make sure everybody's
And to be able to affect them in a positive way.
It says there's your tactical, physical, technical, and mental. They're the four sort of quadrants. You're supposed to basically develop. A lot of them ignore the mental side of things. They just want a ready-made player that's basically big and strong, go out and kick lumps all around them.
100%.
But see, when you talk to actually adults now who didn't get as much game time when they were younger, like the adult football world is crying out for footballers because people don't come because of work commitments, because availability is poor. But there were people that are every day, the kids that basically didn't get much game time when they were younger.
Yeah.
They're still passionate about football. Sometimes the other thing is the bigger clubs sort of need to be more honest and transparent and turn around and say, look, you have no point, not 1% chance of making it. So we're going to get a quality coaching experience, but the likelihood is you're going to get cut at the end of the year. But they don't tell them that, so they create this perception that Jimmy can go and play for an Irish League club when he's 5 because his mummy and daddy pay a couple of £100 for a kid. Sorry, apologies.
No, go ahead.
Totally, his phone never stops.
You might need the answer.
No, don't need the answer.
That's just a wife.
No, it's
I hope you're not talking about.
it's actually my mate.
You're not talking about golfing on that podcast. Oh no! As I say, see, when we're talking about golfing, you've been a couple of golf. See, after getting out, I think people talk shoulder to shoulder instead of face to face a lot, and we come up with an ingenious way of getting golf involved and building sort of mental health into it. We're a local club, Clivenville. We decided to design a program called 9 Holes for Wellbeing. And what we done was people were going out, and a lot of people were talking to us about their mental health, and it's really down. They're having issues, a lot of gambling problems, a lot of sort of problems with a relationship and stuff like that. So we went out, decided to do it north, south, east, and west, and different societies and stuff. And they all went out, walking side by side, having a laugh, bit of banter. And then at the end of every hole, there was a mental health statistic. And they had to read it and just on their own. And they thought they'll forget it all. At the end, they had their score, and we give them a wee test. And to see what they would get out of it, whatever would go on in their head. They all scored 95%. And it's called dramatic play. And that's exactly what we do. We're mental health games. See if you're having a bit of crack, a bit of fun. You take everything in.
You do.
You know what I mean? You know yourself through comedy. You take it all in. All the crowd buzzing off you, and you take it all in. If you're sad down and just feeling off, you just want to close everything out.
Yeah.
It's energy in, energy out. That's what we advocate, and sort of it works for the games-based approach.
And plus, if you get two absolute wingnuts like me and him coming into your school, you're going, do you know what I mean? They get the attention. If you're going to come in a suit and tie and talk about a clipboard and going, yeah, this is about your feelings, kids are going to go, mate, you're a melter. You know what I mean? So
I went into the last school I went in, I was told that these kids, like, no bit about them. He says, I've heard you're the best digger. Your mum and who told you that to me, just heard. And he says, Tamhi, if you see a wee kid with autism, basically getting a hard time in the corridor, what would you do? I says, I wouldn't accept it. He says, maybe if you use that on a consistent basis and stand up for that type of thing, what type of reputation do you think you get in the school? You've got this reputation as a digging in the fights, but you're basically fighting for something. He was like, I didn't realise that, but you're giving him purpose.
I thought you were going to ask from a third egg.
No.
Is he,
Who's the
are you?
best digger?
I don't call him.
You ever seen a figure like that?
I don't call anybody out unless you're there.
He says, you don't want to be a fighter, look at me.
I can't form a fist.
Put him up, Joe.
Can't form a
Pinky
fist.
promise.
Even Peggy promised you from across the room, that man. I tell you.
It's like Harry Potter's fucking wand.
No, I don't call anybody out unless make sure the best back.
No, the likes we would work with a lot of youths as well. Part of my side of it as well as the community and the schools and stuff. We would have all the youths, a lot of ones you have met, Gary and stuff, and it's about building them up into young leaders, and they're genuinely they're a privilege to work with. Just to see
They're a
them
future.
through. They are, mate. They see it.
Do you know what? Raymond and all them wee lads, it's her. They're there every time I go.
I love to see you coming, mate.
They're there every time I go, and do you know what? They're coming back and they're doing it and they're involved, and and without that, do you know what I mean?
God knows what to be doing.
I actually said in a speech once, dedicated, I believe the children of the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. No,
Where'd you hear that?
That was his brother's thing. He started singing it. His brother's wedding. I think his brother moved to Canada straight after. He didn't want to go there.
But what we've got now this year, genuinely does resonate. Like young people, if you actually give them the right direction and you give them something to look forward to, and you make peer mentors. If we all have somebody to look up to and we want to be like that person, not sort of the drug dealers and sort of the ones destroying communities, the ones basically enabling them, then you're ultimately going to hopefully have better outcomes. But that's...
But as you've seen, the likes of wee Raymond and stuff, we give them a lot of sort of
responsibility.
Yeah. And then see whenever they do it right or do it wrong.
Yeah.
They'll learn from it.
Of course.
And it's not about us going, you done this wrong, not even if they've done it right. That's expected because you are special. You're brilliant. And just letting them go and sort of
the wee CVs shine.
They do shine. There was one lad who we had on for quite a lot of years, and he quite didn't get the marks to get into law degree. And I mean, there was a few marks. Joe sent a finely worded email on what he had done through COVID and all. He was out Brussels People's Kitchen, feeding homeless people, making baskets for disadvantaged youths and stuff like that, all throughout. And then something you've probably seen as well, Paddy, we do a lot of pop-up positivity. So we went out dressed as superheroes and stuff to hand out Easter eggs one year. And the response we got was sort of, Jesus, that needed. Our household was falling down. We were all at each other's throats. So we decided to keep that going. Joe ended up, was like, Mick, we need more costumes. Where did we go and get costumes from? Peru. Remember after the two girls got caught coming back from Peru? Joe decided to go and order something from Peru, so it took quite a while to get 3 costumes.
6 weeks.
6
I
weeks.
thought they'd been caught in
They were
customs
holding Super Mario, Sonic and hanging off
full
in the
of
headlock
cocaine.
trying to
Was it
serve
just
their smoke.
Michaela McCallum costumes with a bun?
We could have got her through wearing Sonic. But we've
so
used
glad.
that there to see spread awareness and spread a bit of joy all over. Like, I mean, if there's something that we know that there's kids that have went through a hard time, we'll not promote it, we'll not put it out. We've done a lot of things behind the scene where you make people smile, and that's what it's about, mate. See if you can use your time to make people have a fucking bit of crack or a bit of laugh and to make their day, do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
100%. It doesn't cost anything.
Doesn't cost nothing.
The time, obviously, and whatever goes into it. But, I mean, just to speak to people, it sort of gets me, like, people come to me and they go, I ain't just come up and talk to you. And I'm like, I'm just a fucking ordinary fucking bloke. Like, you know, it's not just because I stand on stage. At the end of the day, I'm from the road and fucking just normal. It's just the thing. Like, it's not, you're sort of just going, but it makes your day. It's just saying hello to somebody or talking to them, and they're like, fuck, I can't believe you didn't talk to me. Why wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's people's self-worth from it. They probably don't think they see you, or Paddy McDonnell. Seeing you talk to you, just a normal, funny dude, like,
Yeah.
the thing. And, I mean, you've had all the same problems that everyone else has.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's good when you tell people that, because then they go, oh, fuck, hold on. You know,
To relate to
if
you.
and I go, listen, it could happen to me again next week. I could fucking, next minute, bump head down and what's wrong with me and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I know how to get myself away from that now. You know, over the years, just training myself just to fucking, right, okay, you're starting to feel a wee bit. And I know when to turn around and say to something, here, I'm feeling 100% today, here, fucking blah, blah, blah. Well, what's the matter? Well, and go and do something that I enjoy. As I say to people, try and find something even.
Your niche.
It
You
may,
need that
it
niche.
mightn't be fucking telling jokes. It might be fucking fishing. It might be fucking painting a wee picture. It might be writing a wee fucking poem. It might be watching a fucking film. Whatever it is,
That's it.
pick what makes you feel good. See, when you're feeling bad, do something that makes you feel good. And I think sometimes people think, oh, go to a drink, go on the drink, go on the drink.
That's all
But
worse.
all-
Because it's the aftermath.
You're putting the plaster over it.
Aye,
It, it
100%.
numbs it, but the next day you have a fucking hangover and you're like, oh fuck, and you feel 10 times worse, and then you're fucking skint, and there's just all them other things that comes with it at the back end of it, and you sort of go, oh, that's a false one. You need to find something. Going for a walk, going for a dander, even during COVID, them fucking walks saved my fucking life.
Mate, they were heaven.
Do you
And
know?
that's what I mean. I mean, it was great weather and all, and you were just going here, let's get out, because you were at their cocoon fever. You were just stuck in the house.
Yeah.
You didn't know how small your house was until COVID hit. You were like, fuck me, it's doing my head in.
I went back to doing the door in the spar.
We end up near getting lifted. See, when we done the Easter eggs, the cops come around. What the fuck are you doing? We're handing out Easter eggs.
What were you
as
dressed up
superheroes. I was dressed as Mickey from Tamhi.
Oh, were you not dressed?
Mickey
as
doesn't
superhero?
dress up. Only Peppa Pig fits him. That's the only costume that fits him.
I don't know. I think there might be a wee drawer under his bed. There might be costumes in there that he wears, and that's why Mickey's like,
They're secretly
Doesn't
for the
have fits
wife,
his
you know.
shoulders.
That fits his shoulders. But no, here we'll go out and hang. So I'd be the one carrying all the fucking Easter eggs and hawking all that about. But half the costumes are their eyesight's terrible. See all our kids walking down the street, going missing and all, going the opposite
Don't
way.
know
And
what
you're
it
like,
is.
over here. They're sitting there feeling walls and all this here. But it's a gig. We take his wee lad, wee Condo. What a legend. And
He sticks minion on and walks in
he sticks
people's
minion
houses.
on, walks into people's houses. And this was whenever COVID was starting. You weren't allowed in the houses, and he was going, hello. And then he
me,
was taking
Minion.
his costume off and going, it's all right, it's only me, Conan. I'm walking in, any sandwiches.
he's fucking fed. That's a flip joke.
I hear malnutrition.
He loves it, absolutely loves it. And it's just, see when we go in these schools, see when you're saying about impact of coaches, we've done it this year. How many schools we would do? Joe was Santa Claus, genuinely the best Santa Claus ever. Oh, half the time he's going, oh, for fuck's sake. And really, and all these kids come up and he gets socially awkward. And they go, can I sit in your knee? And he's, no, you sit there. Right? But Santa not like me, man. But we went in, and remember the school we
Santa's
went
trying
in.
not to end up in the BBC.
We went up,
Santa's on the gas register.
we went up to a school, and we walked in, and there was, Joe walked in as Santa, and we were all handed selection boxes, and then Sonic went in, and then when they were going, Sonic, and then they go, Mickey! I started getting up and shaking the tables and all work. I was like, fuck's sake, calm down.
Mickey the hero.
No, it was because I worked with them in the school. It was up in Mercy, and they were all brilliant kids.
See, Santa only makes a difference once a year, no man.
Aye, that's it. We go in. It's not like we go and get them out of class to do games and have fun
so
and all this here. But see all them kids, you ask them about, name a statistic in the UK about mental health, they'll turn around and go, one in 5 kids have a mental health issue, 1 in 5 adults, 1 in 8. They'll know every single statistic. We done up where Rory Best, he came to the office one day and he'd said about his wife, he'd love to see the games in action and all, and that his wife was a vice principal of a school, so he ended up coming down. Down the Armagh, Rory Best, like yourself, come in representing full Tamhi tracksuit and all on. I picked some random kid out and said, here, name a statistic in the UK for the mental health for children. He turned around and went, what's the statistic? And I said, exactly. I'm going to show you a game, and after I'm going to ask you 10 questions. But done the game, and after I was saying, name that. He named everything. And he looked at his funny enough, mate, it was Rory Best's son. It was picked out just at random, wasn't it? Random. And he looked at his dad and goes, I don't know how I know it. It's a dramatic play, it just goes straight into the head. It's the best way to do it. And I genuinely, hand on my heart, I want to open it up to all the lads that play the football. I'd love for us to put on a day for you all to see exactly sort of your time and effort, where it goes to. Mm-hmm. Plus it'll be a gig. I mean, some of the lads are hilarious. If Sean's coming, I want him to come in his sandals. Absolutely. At their group chat, brilliant. Just a brilliant group of lads. We couldn't ask for nicer ones to actually play against. Sorry I couldn't get you. I know. Sorry.
Do you know what was said?
What?
The one, your mum Mickey can play a bit.
I don't know. They're all raising knives.
They're all like, Mickey can play, like.
Years ago, I was meant to go across the water a few times, and then I was
Stanley. And did you not go across?
I got behind it.
Oh, right.
Well, I was a bit of an asshole.
Did you headbutt the referee?
No, I didn't. I got sent off, and then I kicked a wee fell in the throat. I got banned. Everything. No,
who'd you play for?
Newington under thing, and then I went to Clivenville, and Marty Tabb was like, "Right, I'm gonna take you up there, do hills in the waterworks and hang." No, I just had a terrible attitude, man.
Marty Tabb.
What
a man. I went to that job and Marty Tabb worked on it, and I was like, you talk about Star Trek. Like he was
he would have header than an airplane, that man.
He was on 35 quid the whole time he played for fucking Clivenville.
Unreal.
And they're like, here, I think we need to give you a pay raise.
I played with his son at it's just amateur league level, and his son's knee just kept buckling every time. Every year you went, he had a new knee strap. And I mean, I think by a third or fourth, he was wearing double knee straps and all and the thing. But
he needed knee capped.
Knee capped. But it's sitting. The boys, they were whenever I walked out, the look Shane gave me, I was like, he went, you fucking snake. I went, Shane, if I offered you the chance to play with Berbatov, Ryan Giggs, Petrov'S, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, see at one stage, Paddy, I actually called to be called off. Ryan Giggs tapped me in the back, Matt, here, you're some player. And I went, fuck, what's a play? Take me off. And
there's a photograph of him
congratulating.
That's it. Last two, he scored for United Legends. I scored for the English Football Legends, so he tells it. I fucking missed an open goal in United Legends, and then fucking Stanian Petrov was saying, there he is, Mr. Hansi. Mr. Hansi, you're shite.
Petrov, right? Tell you what, mate, I started getting a bit cocky, putting things. Remember, I hit the bar and all from 35 yards, and then I went, right here, I'm flying here. And I tried to nutmeg someone and lost the ball. Petrov, Mickey, do it fucking simple. And then walking off, and he came over and hugged me and goes, I'm not talking to you, and walked away. I just thought he was messing about.
Are you serious?
He was fucking serious. He didn't talk to me till later on that night.
He really get pissed off at me. Did you see the photos now? I produced this top that he wore in the Scottish Cup final, and he went fucking ballistic in the tunnel.
Why?
He went, that one missing. Where'd you get it? And I was like, I bought it at a fucking Celtic auction over in a bar in Glasgow. And he went, that one missing. That one fucking missing. And I went, I didn't steal it. I wasn't in the changing room. I bought it. And he went, I have to get it back. And how much did you pay? I said, 300 quid. He says, I give you 300 quid for it. That is my top. I don't give any of my tops away. I collect all the memorabilia. I keep it all.
Did he give you it?
And I went, no, I just wanted to sign it.
You're not getting it back.
And he was like, no, I'm getting it back. And I went, you're not. And you're fucking saying it too. And me and him had a bit of a thing. See the photographs? Just see him like this.
Here he was intense, like. But that's what gets all them and sort of the level they get at. At their were the competitive nature.
See Petrov at John Barnes signed him, and he was on fucking $5,000 at Celtic, right? He was just a kid, and he signed for Celtic, and Martin O'Neill came in, wasn't it right? I think Martin O'Neill.
He came in after John Barnes.
Right, Martin O'Neill came in, and Petrov was in training before the training, and was in training after the training, and he was like, "Who's that?" Stan Petrov, and I gave him a fucking $10,000 pay increase, and he went on to be one of the best fucking players.
He also gave him grief about his weight too, didn't he?
I called him fat.
Called him fat and all. Thing. Martin O'Neill went, "I hear brilliant player, but you need to lose weight."
Martin O'Neill used to say, "John, warm up, you're coming off." The John Hartson.
Mate, so see on the Friday, as you know, we had John Hartson and Keith Gillespie out playing golf, and I went out golfing with thing and Darzo from the Praise guy and his mate, and we went out, brilliant crack. Darzo's top lad, like gentleman, and I first met him.
All the Rangers men get going out with John Hartson, and we Paddy get fucking left to go out with Keith Gillespie.
Here, you said Keith's not a nice fella now. Here,
Yeah,
are we taking that out?
No,
Keith's a gentleman.
He's a fucking gent. I was telling him I done ball boy against, it was Latvia. They were playing Latvia, and Ian Dury scored. And we were told, Brian Hamilton was the manager, don't fuck about with the ball. You get the ball, we're winning, fucking take your time. If we're not winning, fucking get the ball quick.
Aye.
The ball went into the moat, and I jumped over the fucking wall, but when I jumped over the wall, didn't realise how fucking it was. So I fucking slipped, and then I had to try and get the fucking ball out. And then once I get back out of there, I was on the fucking thing, and Jim McZelton came over to get it, and I tried to kick a ball to him. And then, once I went, oh fuck, that's right, you're not allowed to kick a ball. And I sort of half kicked it, and the ball sort of went, and they were taking a free kick. They were trying to fucking score to get a draw. And fucking Derry punched me when we were in the fucking tunnel, because I took too long to get the ball. 15, 14, something like that. It was 1985, I was 15. And I says to Keith Gillespie, here's me, you were there, and fucking such and such was there. Who else? Your man from Crystal Palace. Fuck, I'm trying to remember his name. Patterson. And I says, and you fucking laughed your bollocks off at it. And Keith went, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, son. But I would think we were John, mate, and fucking it was terrible. Terrible. But I chipped it about 45, 50 yards away. And I went, fuck, I just chip it on the edge of green. And see, as soon as I hit it, Paddy, I went, that's in. And it just kept rolling round. I was rolling right towards the hole, and I'm going, that's in, John Hartson. Go on, Mickey, lad, go on. Fuck, I started jumping up and hugging me and all, and I went, I just want to go home now.
How was he done?
I was shit.
What'd you do something?
I was terrible, but I mean,
Out
no.
of all of them, he was definitely one of the nicest I've ever met.
John was, I mean, Darzo, who's a mad Rangers man, and his mate is a mad Rangers man too. They loved it. They were going, he's one of the nicest men I've ever met. And he openly spoke about how he near went to Rangers and all, and he said, lads, I was buzzing. And the way the doctor just come in out of the blue and just went, nope, it's not happening. He said, but lads, I don't want to feel like I'm rubbing you up the wrong way. He said, it was the best decision of my life. And also, it was brilliant. It was brilliant for him to get sort of to meet him, and he tells a cracking story. He says, I want to keep it on. He said about, Darzo asked him about Henrik Larsson, and he goes, Henrik, like, I mean, it was like being, as Ian Reid says, like being with one of the Beatles. He was brilliant, outstanding. And he said, he came in, and Roy Keane famously says about my dad and all this here. Larsson, genuinely, after a match, down 100 press-ups, 100 sit-ups. He really wouldn't miss a touch. He would stay after training now, and he went, I need a bit of that. And all of a sudden he was like, I want to be like Larsson. I want to be like him. Then they went on a golf trip. And they had a round of golf and went in. And he said, Suddy, he goes, get me a lager. Lanny, get me a beer or a gin or something like that there. And he goes, I'll take a lager. And he goes, Henrik, what do you want? And he goes, get me a sparkling water with a wee spritz of lemon. And he said, from that day on, he goes, I do not want to be like fucking Henrik Larsson.
I would do drinking lemons before.
Aye.
With Lennon and Hartson.
It wasn't a time fucking you get choked out by What, Roy
No,
Keane?
fuck, that was
That's
half that.
that's mad. That.
But it was that time with Emmons, we went out and they put me to bed in the fucking Hilton Hotel. Because they could drink like fuck. They were all super fit, you see. They could drink like
Bram
fuck.
McClure run up $1.5 billion on us 2 years ago. I mean, $1.5 billion.
Him and Paul Parker.
Him and Paul Parker.
Paul
Paul
Parker's
Parker was on
drinking
the boat
champagne.
with a champagne in a bucket. And they're just dancing about. And I was like, it's going to cost us a fortune. It really was. But
Was it in the hotel?
in the Lansdowne, there tells Christ twice. And it was because there was a guy who, John Crothers, looks after them to make sure their drinks are always filled. And your woman, Jeanette, went, I was sick of looking at him because every time he brought drinks down, he was back up, near enough getting your man McClure. We were happy. He was drinking Magners. I thought he was going to be drinking like whiskey but he was drinking like a fish, man. Drinking like a fish. As you said, they can drink. Like
Lennon came over to Belfast, him and John, and we went out. And it was a Saturday night, and we ended up in Thompson's. And I got home, and it was a Sunday. Mrs. was pregnant. She was out to here, 6 months pregnant. She was working in Ballymena. She was like, I'm going to Ballymena. And she was painting the hall because her brother was coming home. And I was like, hey, look at me. Look at the state of me. Hear me, I was out till 6 this morning. Hear me, I'm not. So her mummy and our stepdaddy came up, and we're painting the hall. They're in their 60s, and I'm laying on the sofa. And my phone fucking going mental, right? And I'm like, fucking hell. And I answered, hello. It was Marty Riley, who was Lennon's agent. And he's like, he didn't get on the fucking plane, Paddy, what the fuck, right? And I'm like, fuck's sake. And he went, try and call him. So I fucking rang his phone. So I rang it straight away, bang, fucking, oh, what's happening? There's me. Where the fuck are you? They're all, I know I'm not answering to nobody. I mean, where are you? But he went to Chelsea, and I went, fucking hell. And he had been threatened. So what had happened was, when we were at dinner, he was like, I haven't been out in Belfast since I got the death threat and stopped playing for Northern Ireland.
Oh.
And I says, well, I do a door. I can get us in wherever you want. So I got us in the pad house, and then we went to Thompson's and all that. She said, me, look, I'm in a taxi. So I gets up. I says, I couldn't get up off a sofa. Gets in the taxi and flies straight over to fucking Chelsea, right? Walked in, and I, there you go. I mean, no, fuck, man. I says, no, I couldn't even paint the hall. Fucking have one. You have the shakes, in me, right? So I'm sitting drinking, and anyway, left my phone, went to the toilet. My missus rang, or obviously her ma rang, and went, that cunt left the taxi, right?
outside.
He answered my phone. Hello, here's Phil. Who's this? Here's Neil Lennon. I don't give a fuck if it's a Pope. Put that bastard on. Here he was. He'd be home on Tuesday. He wasn't fucking wrong. I didn't go home until Tuesday. I woke up in the Hilton Hotel on Tuesday, right? Out all day with him and Hartson. Went for dinner. See the photographs, and like it wasn't a big deal on your phones, you know. We went into the welcome Chinese, and the taxi man came. Right, everybody came. And we're all around this table. About 12 people by the time we got till the fucking Chinese, and him and Big John got up and fucking walked out. Right, I didn't fucking know, so I'm sitting eating it. But Lennon kept going to me, try this, try that, and he was sending stuff over. Fucking 12 people eating Chinese. Next one to eat Chinese milk. Come over, and he was, hello, Mr. Lennon. And I went, no, I'm not Mr. Lennon. And he went, oh, you're Mr. Lennon. And I went, no. He says, you are. And I was like, no, I'm not.
Is that you were the bill?
Here he was, here you go. And I went, looking at it, it was like 212 quid or something. And I'm going, and I fucking scared. Like, I didn't have I came out of the house with no money. And I was going, listen, not Mr. Lennon and all. And here he was, no, you fucking Mr. Lennon, don't you mess me a fuck about and all this. I was going, oh fuck, right? What's going to happen here? Next minute I seen Lennon fucking behind a wee pier laughing at me, you fucking bastard. There he was. But then we went on the drink, 2 fucking days. I woke up in the Hilton, fucking TV was on. I hit the button, morning Mr. Lennon, and I was like,
Chinese man.
where the fuck am I? Open the window, there's like fella walking along a leg, and I says, mate, where am I? Here he was. You're in the fucking Hilton, you cunt, and I'm walking to work. I mean, right, fucking phone dead, fucking get up to the house, fuck me out, fuck the dog out, and I'm standing there.
The dog said, what did I do?
The taxi man says, the funniest thing was you standing outside going, the fucking dog didn't do it. Fucking Lennon, come on, we're going to fucking Spain for a week and all. I mean, no, it was very close. If I had got my fucking thing, I would have went.
The dog sitting around, fucking 3 legs, I think.
It was a fucking, so then, what after that? So I would have been back and forth for Lennon, but that was the day King came and all that happened. And everybody thinks from that podcast that it happened that day it didn't.
Aye.
It was like 6 weeks later. Lennon fell
Was
out with
it?
me.
Right.
And then we were over for the weekend, and I had been sending him taxi me, for fuck's sake, stop fucking not talking to me. You can't. He had to give me a tap, and he had to give me a book signed and all this here. And he says, meet me outside Sally Park, and that was the whole thing when the Keane thing happened. So he must have said to him, "Who you're going to meet that fuck? Do you remember your man Clyde? Fucking."
Ah, yes.
So then fucking Keane done that. But see, during COVID, we were over in England, and my mate was buying a car off the guy that used to own Everton. He invented Street Fighter.
Right.
His daughter married a wee lad from fucking Springfield Park. Right? It's fucking the maddest family ever. One of the wee girl played for Clivenville and Northern Ireland, right? That was the sister. They're like half Turkish and half their man's from Springfield Park. He married the guy that invented Street Fighter, and the other sister married the Prince of fucking Jordan.
Where'd they meet them?
That's what I fucking said. He met your man from fucking the Everton owner. He met his daughter in fucking Spain. He was working in one of the fucking nightclubs. Met her there. And then they were getting married. So we're sitting in this house in Hale, right, in Manchester. And it had its own postcode, first house in Hale. And we're out looking at this Mercedes. My mate's going bad off your man. And the son, the dad owned Everton and the son supported Liverpool. It was fucking insane, right? And they lived in Manchester, or just outside Manchester. So we're getting in the car and he says, well, sure, take it down, get pizzas and stuff. Because the girls were having the hen party. And we were just sitting in the house. And we're reversing. Out the back of him is the guy that owns B&M Bargains. These are Mansons, right? And then behind that's Roy Keane. We're reversing out of this fucking, the back end of this house. And Keane walks past with 2 dogs. And your man there hits him. And your wee lad goes, oh fuck, Keano. Oh, for fuck's sake. And Keane just looks in the car. But I have a beard on now. Like back in the day I didn't. And you could just see him looking, going, I know what fucking cunt's eyes. Do you know?
Aye, you do.
He just stared into the car at me and I was like this here. Fuck me. Aye. Like I was.
You should have run over the door and go, all right, your car, gypsy.
and we reversed out. Here he was. I'm going to have to ring my dad and tell my dad. And his dad had the phone and apologised to fucking King. And when we get back, the other lad says, he says, I fucking told you before. Don't be driving out of that fucking entrance. You can't see fuck all. Big fucking piers and gates. Fucking drive out. And fucking give the son fucking shit like.
Fuck me.
So he's not one you want over.
Look, to be honest, there's ones you get over, Pete, and there's some of them, wasn't it, Joe, that were top class. Like,
McAteer was squealing at that lens, man. Though.
aye, I don't, it's
Take it serious.
Some look, it wasn't even McAteer as well. One of staff from Legends 11 went over, Stephen Donaldson doing linesman. I mean, they FIFA grade referees like and thing, and started really getting at him. So I don't want Sean McComb's goal when he scored. They bombed up a line like and says, I wasn't even close. I was 7 to 10 yards offside. And Dal just said to me, he said, look, Mickey, it's not only, it's their teams too, you know what I mean? Here, I went, no, fuck here.
The opposition is supposed to be an over 35 team. So it's not supposed to be all young bucks basically with loads of energy running about like we Paul Hughes. People were bouncing off Paul Hughes.
Here. What a guy, Paul Hughes.
People were Hugh McCourt went bouncing off him.
I said that, I know I had said the rankings. He says, Mickey, what's the team like? He said, all decent footballers, all thing. I said, but don't be trying to pick fights for him. He goes, right. I said, he's a boxer. He's an MMA fighter. He's Paul Hughes. He's going to be world champion. That's the next McGregor. He said, and then there's Reece McKee. He's in UFC. And then Tamhi, and I just started pointing out all the boxers, and Ryan just went, so just don't try and tackle him too hard. Stan fucking Petrov didn't listen. No. He near killed Shane.
Too funny.
Wiped him out.
And
I told him to do it.
I told him to do that. I was bad. He said to me after, he walked over and goes, Mickey, did you think that was a bad tackle? And I went, I didn't even say anything, I just sort of went like that, and he goes, that was a brilliant tackle.
I told him
he
was a Rangers season ticket holder.
Oh Jesus, don't be saying that live. You might want to shade me up at his door. What are you doing?
He is, but
here. Who is? Shane? He's not.
Yes.
He's a Rangers season ticket holder.
Yes, right.
You starting rumours now?
No, that's what he is. Do you not know what?
No, did not. No. Shane's a brilliant fella.
He's always touring, he never goes to a match.
What?
He's always touring.
He has the season ticket. Should have to go and watch.
Jesus.
I can say that. I'm a Celtic man.
Oh,
I played at the Tagmona Club on Friday night. I ain't gonna get burnt in the steak.
I see the one ever, Jackie McDonald. Oh, he's alright, that, but you won't. Oh, brilliant. I said, you get yourself into some situation.
I was walking about Tagmona with him a couple of weeks ago. Right? In another shop now, people was going, what the fuck is going on here? There's an Irish League player, that's what he says. He walked into the Tugmona Club and he says that before he dies, it's going to be the last thing he thinks about. He says he walked into the Tugmona Club and I'm standing at the bar with Jackie McDonald drinking peppermint tea.
But I mean, see how far over here's came. It's brilliant. The likes even your mom Black Potty standing in the middle of a shangle where a GA tap on and a blazer full of shamrocks. Yeah, and all. I'm like, years ago he would have. I mean, they wouldn't even be able to record. He wouldn't have got out of that place.
It is.
I mean,
it's good that everybody comes together and fucking the way it is now. It's just brilliant, and this affects everybody.
Look, mental health genuinely doesn't have a religion. It doesn't have a colour. It doesn't have a creed.
No.
And we have noticed that. I mean, anywhere we would go, whether it was Clivenville or Crusaders, both end clubs embraced it, and that was the reason why we done what we done, and why we got sort of legends from each club. Like Shane kind of looked at me whenever I told him that we had 4 Irish League legends and the likes of Joe the Gold and stuff like that. He was like, mate, come on. There was a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
See, as long as we
got
got sort of
35.
Yeah, and all represented at that. As you know, that some of the lads were a bit freaking out because it was Ryan Giggs, Petrov'S, and Thingamma. They all come in.
I asked for Joe Gormley's time.
Did you?
So Joe Gormley got his saying before he left.
Joe, did you hear the story about him, Joe?
No.
Joe turned up.
He's going to Spain or something?
He's going to Portugal. And by the way, congratulations, Joe and Aoife getting engaged. But
In Portugal?
No, in Portugal, just after that game. But he turned up. Joe got his boots and all on, and Jimmy and Beckford. Fuck's sake. What's wrong? He forgot his boots. So Joe Gormley, what says he? 10.5, and Joe goes, fuck, so am I. He goes, give us safe. Not knowing, record goal scorer in the Irish League. So he had to give him his boots. So Joe come baiting out. I went, you alright there? Baiting out in his fucking TNs. Joe running about and goes, Mickey, I'll fucking play in them. I was like, why, what's wrong? Jimmy and Beckford needed them. And then Jermaine scored, and Joe's anxious as anything. He needed to get on. And your man says, Decky, get the hell. Come on, you're going on. And Joe's like, Mickey, I have a flight to collect at 5 o'clock. Come on, get me. And I was like, Colin, surely you didn't fit him on. He was on for about 5 minutes. And straight on their flight away, and then he got engaged. Like yourself, Joe's one of our ambassadors, and right from the start, he sort of grabbed exactly what we're being about and stuff like that there. We had him good himself, we've had Ryan Burnett, stuff like yourself. We've loads of people sort of took a mantra, it's saying what we're about and having faith in us and going, right here, you guys are fucking a bit of me. Because we are, like, we're from about the road, we're just normal fellas that give a flan. Fuck.
To be
I
fair,
didn't want to say it, sorry,
the
Ronnie.
gear we gave you in terms of all the Adidas stuff's lovely. So, I mean, that's one of the perks.
That is one of, I mean, we always look after our ambassadors, even though Willie, that's
Doesn't
a
give
go
out the
missing.
taps.
But yeah, and
did.
well, I'll get you more, mate, definitely. It's just,
Listen, for anybody that doesn't know, we're going to put a link up here, the website, everything that's our numbers, we'll put them all on. And anybody needs any more information, send a wee message on the page, do what you need to do. And if you need help, there's going to be lines and stuff there that you can do through us. I just want to thank the lads for coming on.
thank you, mate.
No
Genuinely,
problem.
thank
Thank you
you for
very
the
much.
continued
Cheers.
support.
And till the future and bigger and bolder events.
Don't you be starting that now.
Thank you.
2, 1, 2, 3.